Cadet Kelly, Captain America, Forrest Gump. These movies all have one thing in common. The characters go to military boot camp. Or some version of it, at least. But what even is boot camp? Is it even actually called that? Is it really just people getting yelled at and running around like it seems to be in movies? On this episode of Task and Purpose Military Basics, we're breaking down the differences in basic training across the force. Let's start with the one you're probably thinking of anyway, the Army. Army boot camp is not even called boot camp at all. It actually has the fun, exciting title of Basic Combat Training. Army Basic Combat Training occurs at one of 5 different locations: Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and Fort Knox, Kentucky. However, you don't just get to go to whichever one has the best weather. We're looking at you, South Carolina. Preparation for different jobs actually happens at different locations. Infantry and armor specialties go to Fort Benning, while military, police, and combat engineers go to Fort Leonard Wood, and future officers go to Fort Benning. Army Basic Combat Training takes 10 weeks, and it's the same for the Army, Reserves, and the National Guard. Army Boot Camp is split up into 3 phases, which are called Red, White, and Blue Phase, because of course they are. Red Phase is for learning about what soldiers do, White Phase is for learning about how soldiers do things, and Blue Phase is field exercises and testing. After all that, they graduate and get to show their families their fun new haircut. The Navy, on the other hand, actually calls their boot camp, and they only have one location: Recruit Training Command, Great Lakes, in Illinois. Navy boot camp used to be 8 weeks long, but as a fun addition for 2022, they have added an extra 2 weeks. Woo! Apparently, the new weeks cover leadership and professional development. In pre-2022 land, the weeks went like this. Week 1, in processing, mostly physical fitness type stuff, swimming, basic classes. Week 2, confidence. Recruits go through something literally called confidence course, which, other than sounding like it would be really useful for middle schoolers, apparently simulates emergency shipboard situations. Week 3, hands-on. This is basically exactly what it sounds like. They put recruits on a ship and let them do stuff. Week 4, live fire, boom boom time. Week 5, career, job fair on steroids. Week 6, fire safety, shipboard damage control, and firefighter training. Week 7, battle stations. Recruit teams go through 12 example scenarios and participate in what is definitely the most stressful escape room of all time. If you succeed, they give you a whole baseball cap. Also, apparently now somewhere in there is 2 weeks of leadership things. But after that, graduation. The Air Force calls their boot camp Basic Military Training, or BMT, not to be confused with BLT, which is a sandwich. BMT is 8.5 weeks long, and like the Navy, only has one location, Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. All recruits from the Air Force, Air National Guard, Air Force Reserve, and everyone's favorite, the Space Force, attend BMT there. The main things that Air Force BMT focuses on are basic defense, how to handle and fire a weapon, combat life-saving skills, field training exercises, and combat scenarios. They call the week you arrive Week 0 to keep it confusing. Week 1 is for physical training, learning to do things the Air Force way, and taking classes. Week 2 is dedicated entirely to Air Force history. They've done a lot of stuff. Week 3 is about character and leadership skills. Week 4 is for learning about Air Force rules, and Week 5 is all about training to handle national security risks. But that's not all. Week 6 covers how to handle chemical, biological, radioactive, and nuclear attacks, and has the physical fitness and airmanship skill tests. Week 7 is for combat scenarios and field training. And then after that, graduation. Airmen run into their own graduation to assert their dominance over their family members. Marine Boot Camp is called Recruit Training. They have 2 locations, one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast. Recruit Training at San Diego in California, and Recruit Training at Parris Island in South Carolina. Parris Island is at danger of becoming totally underwater in the next 30 years. Marine Recruit Training is by far the longest of the forces, at 13 whole weeks long. Marine Recruit Training is structured similarly to the Army's, in that it's composed of phases, though the Marines don't color code theirs like the American flag, and they have 4, not 3. Phase 1 includes arriving, initial strength tests, and getting equipment and weapons. Phase 2 most closely resembles the beginning of every other boot camp, with physical and combat conditioning and academic instruction, but for the Marines, it also includes martial arts and combat water survival. Phase 3 is for learning how to use weapons, field skills, and training, in addition to the Marines' special Hunger Games simulator, the Crucible, which is a 54-hour exercise in which Marines make their way through a series of tests as a team in a stressful simulated combat scenario. After that, Phase 4 is just getting your uniform, exams, and some standardized training requirements, and then graduation. Easy peasy. Last but most certainly not least, we have the Coast Guard. Coast Guard Boot Camp is called Basic Training, and it happens at Sexton Hall in Cape May, New Jersey. It is 8 weeks long, with the first week being in-processing and fitness training, and the second week being physical fitness and swim testing. Week 3 is for teamwork, and classes on the types and parts of a line, deck seamanship, and different types of knots. Week 4 is for more physical fitness, and everyone's favorite, career planning. Recruits receive their assignments this week. Week 5 is mostly about drill, and Week 6 is about firearm training. They also fight with sticks this week, really. Week 7 is for more training and for finding out where the recruits are going after they graduate. And then it's time for graduation. The Coast Guard holds a pasta dinner the night before graduation for all family members and supporters, which is honestly iconic, and the other branches should take note. And that's it. Hopefully now you have a better idea of what goes down during military basic training. It's not all running. Okay, it's a lot of running, but other things happen too, and now you know about those.